Hey guys, it's Brian from The Endless Mission. Today we're going to take a look at some of the advanced features in the editor that really let you go under the hood of your games. So right now I've got the editor open in our platformer template and my lenses active. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch out of lens mode. To do that, if I go up to the top of the screen here, my lens mode button is active right now, but if I click on it, we'll go out of lens mode and you'll see a number of changes happened to our user interface when we did that. The first one was over on the left side of the screen, the hierarchy panel opened up. The hierarchy panel lets us see every object in our game. If I expand this top level platformer one, which represents our level, there are three groups underneath it: avatar, gameplay, and scene. These are groups we set up, and you can set up your own groups in the hierarchy any way you want. It can have as many levels as you want. We tend to set things up this way because it keeps the games nicely organized. The scene group contains groups underneath it, and all of those contain the things related to the environment of the game, the objects in the game world, the lighting sources, things of that nature. The gameplay group contains objects related to the game's logic and the things that make the game function and tick, make it winnable, stuff like that. And as you might expect, the avatar group contains just one object at the next level. It represents our game's avatar, in this case, Capitan Blackclaw. If I click on Capitan Blackclaw, another panel opens up. This is called the Inspector. The Inspector is a bit like your lenses, but a super powerful version of the lenses that shows you all of the things about that object you can change, right? So not just restricted to, say, its spatial or its physics properties. You get everything about that object. So this is all of that for Capitan Blackclaw. Now, if we want to start messing around with these, another trick we can do is I've got Capitan Blackclaw selected in the hierarchy, but she's not on the screen. So if I go over here along the top of the screen to my focus icon and click on it, my camera will move to the currently selected object, in this case Capitan Blackclaw. And as normal, I can use my mouse and WASD to still move around and get a better view of her. There she is. The very first section of the Inspector is the transform, and the transform shows the same information you're already familiar with from the spatial lens. Just like with the spatial lens, you can alter it here. So if I want to change her position, I can type in another value. There she goes. Or I can use the gizmos in the game world to move her around. Beyond those properties you're already familiar with, there's a lot of stuff on an avatar that's as complex as Capitan Blackclaw. And I can scroll through the rest of the Inspector to see that. So for example, if I scroll down here a little bit, here's a whole section related to her movement. And I've got values here that I can change. So for example, her max speed is 10 if you've played any of the games with Capitan Blackclaw. That's the default value you're already familiar with. But I could change that. Let's say I want to go in and make that 30. So I say 30, I hit enter. And now if I click the play icon to play my game, that new change will be taking effect right away. So here we are in play mode, and as I start to move Capitan Blackclaw, you'll see she's moving much faster now than she did by default. Now, as I play test, I'm already finding she's very hard to control at that speed. I'm taking a lot of damage. I can't really focus in on these weasels that I'm trying to use my headbutt attack against. It's not so great. So if I hit escape and return to the editor, I can go back into the editor and try a different value for that setting. And that playtesting pattern is something we do a lot when we're making games. One quick tip I'll show you is when I go back into the editor, my hierarchy is closed. If I want to find Capitan Blackclaw again, I can use the search feature. So I'll go up to the search bar at the top of the hierarchy, start typing Capitan, there she is. And if I click on her, I'll go right back to her settings. I can still use my focus mode icon to find her. And we'll set that max speed to something a little more reasonable. Say 20, I could go in, playtest again, and see if I like that.